What's up guys, it's your boy Elevate bringing you back a little Cypher tutorial for ASCENT. I'm going to be showing you tripwires, cages, one-ways, cameras, everything you need to know to play Cypher at a professional level. My mindset going into matches, stuff like that, what I do in a match. I'm just going to be explaining that all. All the different parts of the video are going to be like pretty organized. We're going to start on defense, move from right side of the map to left side of the map, and then attack, what I do right side to left side. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Hopefully you guys learned something. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be reading the comments. I can answer some questions you guys have. And yeah, that's about it. Enjoy the video, guys. So starting off with tripwires on the B site. These are kind of the basic, you know, retake tripwires if you're like have a camera like on B side somewhere, or if you have eyes on B main so people can't just walk out. The main thought process behind like almost all of these trips is that you're playing from CT and you have like a teammate here and a teammate market, and you guys can kind of play off these when like people hit them because you're often gonna get smoked off on these choke points. So the entire mentality is to just control this area of the map and play back site, right? That way like everyone is confined and you just get 1 or 2 free kills to make your life easier on retake, but you try to stay alive. And overall, as long as it's low to the floor, you're vibing. Usually what I'll do is I'll pair like maybe this corner trip or just even a super simple default trip so they can't walk out, mixed with, you know, these site trips. That way like they break this and they feel like they have to execute. This is paired really well with a camera on site so you know they can't walk out, or even like double caging here so like they have to walk out of smoke. The entire mentality is just you want to get one and get out with these trips. The next is going to be cameras for CT side B. There's not really a lot of super groundbreaking cams I know, other than trying to find cameras that like just see a little bit of B main, you know, so they're not super easily broken. A lot of times what I do is just like a super passive cam that's like harder to hear, harder to destroy, maybe in this corner to watch walk out, or something that can just hold this contact because people like to lurk out of here. And oftentimes you can play off of your camera here where you just put a camera. If it's like a slow round, you can play like over here CT, have a cage, or even have this one-way set up. Alright, so how one-ways go, you line up with the center of this, you can aim just below that window. You can do like,
that goes there.
Right there. Anyways, just playing off of like the contact of your camera is really strong, or playing for early info. If you do like one of these one-ways, I recommend putting an actual cage. Once you pop this one way and get the kill, you can actually have cover, or even putting a cage here so you pop, get cover, pop this cage. Another thing TSM did,
goes here.
Haze, he like was putting like a cage out of bounds. So when the Sova dart hit here, you would pop a cage, so that's pretty cool to experiment. So you put a cage on top of this roof, and then when Sova dart comes in, it actually won't reveal you because this cage is so tall, and you can make some plays around this. But I don't recommend one-way cages that much anymore, just because, you know, playing off of smoke is generally better and people are kind of used to them, and Sovas kind of deny them. Another thing I like to do is like mixed with a Sova dart or a drone, you can try to take B main control early, bounce a cage off this wall, put a cam high here, and then you just back up, like this is right off the round rip, you back up to somewhere safe, and you just sit on cam. And if you can sit on the cam and just only have it make noise once, if they weren't defaulting anyone here to hear it, and then they come, you can get a lot of information. Same rules apply with like a deep trip, right? Like you play early, you do this cage to cut off their vision. You set up like a deep trip here, and you can go ahead and stack different parts of the map just because you know, and you have a longer time for them to be B-main. It's like what I would do is like I would put deep cam or deep trip, and I would go like maybe play crossfire with my teammates mid. You know, if my trip is up, right, I could put double cage here, play mid, and then, you know, if they're walking up, you know, you have this delaying factor, right? Like if they try to run through your cage and you're just standing here, you're gonna farm, right? A lot of Cyphers tend to not play the site as much anymore because it's really hard to stop a rush, but you can still do some pretty cool retake setups every once in a while to catch people off guard. Going on to mid, generally no one really uses cages here, so I don't really have much for you. It's really common to put a mid trip. This is starting to get countered pretty commonly, but a lot of teams play off this, and until this gets broken, no one plays anyone mid. They can usually put like a crossfire like site and market or double back site B until someone ends up breaking this tripwire, so you can kind of stack different lanes off of the information. There's so many lineups for this to get shock darted now that it's pretty uncommon to see these. But in your rank matches, it's generally a good mentality, just like maybe tell your teammates, don't play mid, I have a camera or something right like that, and then picking it up yourself. This camera is really good because it's very hard to see from T's walking up, and you get to spot him top mid.
Here.
You know, you only see them when they're really committing, and then when they're close like this, it's really hard to see through this, and you can see better. So this is a really common cam. People are starting to shock dart it also. Then you have this cam, which I learned from Immortals. And it's just like you see their heads as they walk up mid, but you don't get any top mid info. But still, if you don't want to play anyone market, you have this information. Cons with this is a lot of times teams are smoking like back here off, so like this gets covered, but it's still good early info, and if a team smokes this off, like someone needs to be playing here anyways. Alright, moving towards A, I actually have a ton of things for A site that you can do. I'm gonna start with cages, so it's pretty simple. You just line up with this doorway and you aim kind of like there's this like really deep line right here, and I just aim close to the wall between this brick and the wall, throw it. This one is like super hot cold, like I've never been able to get this line up 100%, so usually this is the first thing I do in first time. You have a lot of camera options here. You know, you can do this cam, which sees like a crevice, a main. It's really high, so it's hard to break. If you put the cam like more over here, you can see cat, so like maybe you stack sight. You can also get a deep cam early, which is like really strong, and then like sit on it and see if anyone's like a main. You can also this, like off the rip of the round, put this and then see like if anyone's breaking it, and if no one's here, then you like, hey guys, go stack mid, nothing's a main. There's this cat cam that's like an EU thing, where you just jump throw it like around here, you aim down, and then you have a teammate like peeking off of this camera's contact, so you could set up a flash or something. This is really good because like they don't see it, and then so like a lot of times teams are like, no one's playing cat, let's walk up, you know, because like no one wants to flash if no one's fighting. So like they walk up and then they walk into like a million flashes and you just absolutely dominate them. You one-way cage them that you already put there and you just dominate them. Cages, you can one-way A main, but A main is kind of a weird choke, so I honestly recommend just caging. I find myself double caging this a lot, and showing early A main presence, falling off, and then like if they're actually going to execute, I just pop the cage, and you can hold the cage because, you know, if they're running through a smoke, you have the advantage. They have all these angles to clear, so I end up just doing that a lot. Alright, and then we're gonna go to trips. So there's the retake setup that I used to run a lot, which is just super simple. It's to catch off jets, and then I put a cage A main because you want to make sure they're actually running at you and thinking that they need to execute and using util instead of just walking out. And then I often put my camera to spot cat and A main walkout. Something around here, you know, it works. You see their feet. Pop this cage, or have my omen smoke it for me, and then, you know, on their execute, I pop this, or playing retake. Could do these double sight cages if you have a Sova, put like a gen trip. You pop these double cages, Sova darts, and you like get spam kills. There's a lot of opportunities, especially like comboing characters, like taking that next step. Having this gen trip is also really good, because, you know, if teammates are rotating and they hit this gen trip, they can spam and kill. And that's like if I'm playing retake from heaven. If I'm playing retake like from cat with a teammate trying to like set up a crunch cat, and these trips are pretty common. Any like low trips here, Sometimes I put them a little higher if they're playing Raze so Roomba doesn't clear them. And then, you know, they smoke cat and you just hold here waiting for them to trip. You know, there's the typical A main one that's like kind of hard to break. If you don't know, it's just right here. And this is pretty cool. Another thing is like the same principle as B main, is just like getting a deep trip, caging this off, putting this around here. That way you just have a little more time and you can go stack other places. I love putting this trip because people don't really expect it, putting a cage here. So like they hit the trip right when they run out of the cage and like you have the advantage. Or just like putting a normal cat trip and then that way you know you're safe sight and playing your cages. Alright, so I often find myself B main when we're defaulting, and if I think they're gonna like be aggressive or they're low money, I put this camera and I sit here a lot, and you know, I see like if they're pushing up anywhere. A lot of teams when they're eco try to push right here.
Here.
I sometimes put a cage down or like cage on the run and back up. It's just a little passive setup. My default trip for this side would probably be here because these get shock darted so much. But you can do, like if you're lower skill, you know, that trip or even just this trip, or even waiting and then putting like this trip so you don't get shock darted. But generally what I like to do is I aim like right in the center of this box and this wall at the start of the round. Throw a cage so it covers. Put a camera, cage B main, and then if he's droning, I pop the cage, check my cam, see if anyone's following it, break the drone, break the dart, and that way like I can calm to my team by B main control. And if I leave or if I just want to trick them out or see if anyone's playing here, I put like a deep trip, and if they break my cam, you know, I change it up to try to catch people off guard. I'll do this, I'll set up the cam, and then I'll just sit here and just wait and then see if anyone pushes. And then like if someone pushes to break my cam, I just swing and kill them. Or, you know, I see like them do a flash play and then I can go peek them. Just make sure you're crouching because they can actually see your head behind this box. But yeah, it's like a cheeky way to just get map control for free. Cameras, when you're taking B site, there's this really cool camera that like can clear close sight and logs if you place it right. It's just sick. It's really cool. And then for middle, a lot of times if I'm starting top mid, I'll do this camera. Also, if like I'm starting beacon and we want mid control, this camera is really good because you can see cat and their heads back mid. You see the cat sliver. It's really good to put at the start of the round before like they can cross. Good way to get some mid info. This tripwire is very important. I recommend anyone at any level put this every round. Cam out line, clear it, pick up cam, you know. Can cam bricks from that little corner. And a lot of times you see them like on your right peripheral and they don't know you see you. But overall it just clears a lot of angles. You could also do like a high cam above the smoke, figure out where they're playing. And then when you like get here, you can like double cage in here. And then like when you could have a teammate playing up here. And it, like a lot of times they try to walk out here and it's free kills and it's just off your teammate's comm. You know, they're just more smokes to add. Or you cage tree. Alright boys, that's how to play ASCENT. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned anything. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.